Welcome back to another video. Since you clicked on this, you already know what we're going to discuss. These are 3 tips for solo filming, specifically for a journalist. So let me know in the comments if it's helpful. Be sure to subscribe to stay in the know of any future content or content like this going forward. Without further ado, let's get into the tips. So the first tip would be write down your script on a separate paper or have your script available on a separate device. So, for example, myself, I film using my iPhone for everything, basically. So once you get that spot, once you locate where your shot's gonna be, and if the background is dynamic, and once you've decided this is it, tripod, mic's ready, phone, and you have lines and you have script or you have something you need to remember, you may get the first takeout, but then after that, you're like, dang it, what was I supposed to say next? And then now, if it's on the phone that you're filming with, you then have to take the phone out, which can potentially disrupt the setup that you put together, change the angle, make things more wobbly. It just can disrupt things unnecessarily. It seems like something that would be obvious, but I've filmed and had my script, my lines, my notes on the same device that I was filming on. And every time I was like, okay, wait, was it this year? Was it this location? What was it again? I would have to stop, grab my phone, and it's just too much. When I can literally have notes ready in addition to, or a separate device that I guess can feed me my information. So that's something to be mindful of so that you can have a smooth filming process. Tip number 2 would be push through for the best take. It's interesting filming solo, it's interesting filming overall, but when you're by yourself, you're like so aware. I can speak for myself. You're so aware of people, surroundings, who's seeing you, who's watching you, who pulled up in park just to stare at you from the other side of the camera, who's looking a little crazy, you might have to be mindful of, and you know what I'm saying, the noise, the natural sounds, like, and then your lines, and then how do you look on the camera? There's so many different elements that can distract, but you need to push through. This is something that I will say I'd score myself at maybe a 6 out of 10. I'm at like a 6 out of 10 as far as pushing through for the shot, for the most convincing and captivating like delivery. What I mean by that is it's kind of hard when you notice all these things and you're in the middle of having to just close out that last part or intro, like, what's up y'all, we're here at the such and such and da-da-da-da-da. And you know your energy needs to be on 10 because this is the intro. This is what opens up your, you know, your reel, your video, your package, your film. But you're so focused on everything else that you're like, what's going on, y'all? Da-da-da-da. Because you want to play small, because you don't want to be as noticed. But the thing is, at the end of the day, people should mind their business. At the end of the day, more than likely, they're not really paying attention to you. And if they are staring you down, what can you do? If that's the location, if this is the exact location I need to stand, and people in front of me are doing whatever, or just sitting there going, at some point, am I gonna forego this wonderful moment and this scenery because of them, or am I gonna decide to push through? It's easier said than done. You have to be there to know what I'm talking about. But I give myself a 6 out of 10. I can deliver, but there's been times where in the past where I was so hyper focused on who was focused on me that when I go back home and I begin editing my content, I realize, oh man, I sounded so blah, or I didn't do the gesture, or I didn't laugh a certain way. I didn't deliver the lines the way that I wrote them down. I didn't do it. So then it could just really be a bummer when it comes to the editing process, because you're like, that wasn't supposed to look like that. That was supposed to be more captivating. That was supposed to have more of a punch, and it just fell flat. So it's a really low feeling sometimes when you allow your circumstances in the moment to dictate how you respond. And then when you're editing, you're like, this is what I have to work with. but then it's really your fault. So do your best to push through. You will get better, I promise. Hopefully I get better and I'm at a 10 out of 10 where I don't care who's surrounding, who's standing there, it don't matter. I'm here to deliver what I need to deliver. My last tip for this video would be well researched. When you're well researched, it allows for your filming process to be more smooth. So if I know, and I've done my research on the whole entire area that I'm about to scout and figure out where's the best space to, to do pinpoints on, I'm aware like, okay, that's a key location. That monument means something for this community. So I would be remiss to sit there and not document, the importance of it. Oh, this street sign was blah, 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 blah. And there's a whole story tied to that. That would be wonderful information for my viewers. Oh, where I'm standing at this very moment once was a place that blah, blah, blah. So going beyond the actual story and finding other key points that can help build a well-rounded story will help you set yourself apart from other storytellers. And it just gives you a more well-rounded package overall. So yeah, that's what I mean by being well-researched. You already know why you're there, you know what you're talking about, but those added little key elements that make the viewer go, oh, okay, I didn't know about that. Like they may watch something that you do on the Lakers and be like, oh, okay, I know when they were founded, I know where they played, I know who was on the team. Okay, but do we know that there was a story behind this? Do we also know that right here, this happened and then da-da-da-da? Those are the moments that will set your story apart. You know what I mean? Because we're all telling the same story. Essentially, it's about how you sell it and what you give to it. Okay. All right, y'all. This concludes part 1 of my tips for solo filming, specifically as a journalist. Please comment below if this has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Be sure to look out for part 2 and 3, where I will give more information on how to film solo successfully, confidently, and reduce the potential amount of mistakes you can make while doing so. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video.